Welcome, virtual audience, subscribers of Diverse Marketing, Kid at Heart. Welcome to the Happy Half Hour. I am super excited to bring a friend of mine all the way from across the country. Rhode Island represent, Japan represent, Dream represent. Alan, welcome to the Happy Half Hour. Say hello.
Hey, Steve, it's great to be here. Thanks for including Dreams as part of this.
Diverse Marketing and myself, we've been working together. Has it been over a decade now? It's been pretty close.
It's been pretty close. We were the first gift line that Diverse Marketing took on in the Atlanta showroom.
Wow, I don't even know if I knew that. But you aren't headquartered in Rhode Island. I mean, you are. But Dream is a Japanese company that has a pretty unique position in the marketplace. Can you give us a little elevator pitch on who Dream is?
Sure. So as you said, Dreams is a Japanese company, and Dreams USA is the US division of Dreams Inc. Japan. We're not the importer or the distributor, we are the company. We also have divisions in China, in Hong Kong, in Korea. We have distributors in Australia, in Europe, in Israel, Taiwan, Singapore, Indonesia, the Philippines. And we have business in another 10 or 12 countries around the globe, from the UAE to Chile to Cambodia. Dreams is the brainchild of our founder, Toru Soya. He goes by the Americanized nickname of Sonny. Sonny spent the early part of his career working for Bandai, and was involved in product development and product ideation at Bandai. And about 20 years ago, he decided to go out on his own. He did so with the support and, quite frankly, the investment of the owner of Bandai. So it's a very friendly and wholesome relationship. This was not a renegade employee running off. Sure. And he maintains those relationships. Dreams, our mantra is that we make people smile.
Yeah.
And we do it through creativity, through color, through quirkiness. We view ourselves as a trend company, part toy, part gift, part stationery, but all trend. And everything we do has been designed in our office in Tokyo. We manufacture primarily in China, a little bit in the Philippines, but everything that we sell has been created by our company. So in essence, we're still a product development company.
Yeah.
But we're much more than that also.
Well, you know this about me. I'm a little obsessed with Japan. I've been there now, I think 4 or 5 times. Definitely changed my life. But my obsession didn't start with my first trip. My obsession with Japan started in my first meeting at Diverse Marketing. I called in an account called Gordman's, where an old toy buyer named Bob Edwards was in the seat. And he's the kind of guy that took the opportunity to teach the new kid on the block a few things about the business. He liked that opportunity, and I value his feedback immensely. And I told him I'm pitching something. I'm like, this is super hot in the UK. That was my pitch, some brand. And he goes, Steve, I don't care. You tell me when it's hot in Japan, then I'll buy it. Right? Japan has become this trend validator. And as somebody who's been to Japan and obviously worked with so many creative Japanese executives and marketeers, what makes Japan so interesting? Why are so many trends coming out of that market?
Wow, that's a really hard, whoa. That is a very difficult question for me to answer definitively. I'll certainly give you some opinion. Japan is a very, very focused society. I'm trying to come up with a word, and I'm struggling with it right now.
No, it's a complex answer.
Very, sure. Very homogenized society. And so the Japanese teens and the Japanese young adults have a great deal more difficulty figuring out how to stand out than people do in this country. It's very monolithic. Everybody looks the same, comes from the same background. It's one of their greatest strengths and perhaps one of their weaknesses as well, just like everything else in life. And my opinion is that homogeneity um, forces individuals to be really creative and to express themselves in other ways. And there are an awful lot of scientific or digital or music trends that have started there. But I think they all have their common root in this innate desire to be different in some way.
Hmm. Beautiful. That's awesome, man. I totally agree. If anybody listening has the opportunity to visit Japan anytime in your life, you will come back a different person. It teaches you so many things. Um,
Japan is a beautiful country.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
makes me reminisce a little bit. Can't quite travel yet, Alan, but soon. Soon. I
Yeah.
actually just bought my first plane ticket, Alan. I bought my first plane ticket in 3 months. Atlanta gift show. I am going for the whole week, VIP day, and I'm excited to see all the customers I haven't seen in a while.
Well, I have a hotel reservation, Steve, but I have yet to book a flight. I'm thinking about a road trip.
Oh, that sounds fun. Okay,
Yeah.
Alan. So now we kind of understand Dream from an umbrella branding perspective. What are some of the key items that have driven your success in the US market?
Well, there was one other thing I know you wanted to cover, and I
Yeah.
didn't cover it in part one. So let me use that as an intro into product.
Perfect.
One of the things that you had asked me to be prepared to speak about was our distribution in Japan. And that's a really important element of kind of who we are and what we represent there and how we translate that to the US. So in Japan, we consider ourselves to be an interior goods company. We're not a toy company. We're not a gift company. Everything we do is trend. So we consider ourselves interior goods. So even some of the product I'm going to show you in a few minutes that you might think of as collectible, our parent company thinks about in terms of interior goods. These are things that you would put around your home that would bring you some degree of happiness, some degree of comfort, some degree of support.
Yeah.
And as a result, we sell to people like Loft and Tokyo Hands and Frank Frank. We sell to Village Vanguard, which is a bookstore. We sell to Plaza Style, which is probably the most commonly known retail brand of the ones that we sell to, which is sort of a cross between convenience and home and just a huge assortment and wide range of product.
Awesome.
And so our products aren't considered toys, and a certain degree gift, but not toy, but it's more of a household product. In Dreams USA, we face different challenges with our market. When I say household goods to people, they're thinking about mops and brooms
Of
and
course.
plates and cups and bowls and those types of things. So it requires a different definition of who we are, which is why I use the word trend. We sell everything from light up rubber duckies, which was one of our first products, and jellyfish and other items that can be used in the tub, to products that speak to the space theme. It started with the projector dome, which evolved. It used to be one of our bath items. You drop this in the tub, turn off the lights, and it projects planets up on the ceiling.
Yep.
But the projector dome became such a strong item on its own that we built a whole space-themed product assortment around it. The granddaddy of which is the projector dome star map, which is a larger version of the projector dome, but that one is not water activated. You push a button to turn it on, and when you do, it projects the Northern Hemisphere star map on your ceiling, but it goes out after 1 hour, so it's a night light.
Perfect.
So in our, what the Japanese refer to as zaka, or gifty type products, there are 3 major categories. There's bath, there's space, and then we do a bunch of product that's animal themed, elephants and unicorns, and a variety of little coin banks, which we call coins. There's always tongue in cheek with the products that Dreams does, because it's a very creative process of identifying market opportunities and doing the design work and doing the naming that fits both the Japanese sensibility, the American sensibility, and has potential to sell in China and in Korea and in Australia and in Europe. So it's a really international approach. Once you get past the Zaka product, then we're best known for our minifigures.
Yep.
And the most famous of our minifigures is Sonny Angel. He's 16 years old this year. He started with this little Cupid doll like Sonny Angel in a bottle.
Interesting.
And he evolved from a large 6.5-inch, 7-inch figure into what we refer to as a minifigure, which are blind box collectibles. This happens to be our latest special series called Cactus Series.
Alan, do you know the total amount of Sonny Angels that have been sold since its
inception?
inception?
As a matter of fact. That's a great question, Steve. We just published the 15th anniversary book just prior to the 16th anniversary of Sonny Angel, and there are just under 1,000 Sonny Angels that have been created over the last 15 years. 957 or 975. One of those two. It's close enough.
Interesting. Alan, speaking of minifigs, do you have a SMISKI around by chance?
I do.
SMISKI, I especially like because I noticed an introvert trend happening a few years ago. There was something happening in society where it was almost like a rebellion against going out or going to the club or doing bottle service. People were much more interested in staying home and cooking and reading and watching TV and embracing their inner introvert. And no collectibles spoke to them until I saw SMISKI.
So SMISKI, this is part of the SMISKI yoga series, obviously lotus pose.
Love it.
SMISKI are quirky little creatures that live in corners. The name SMISKI itself is the combination of two Japanese words, sumi, which means corner, and ski, which means love. So if you put them together really fast, sumiski, sumiski, SMISKI. And so it's an anglicized version of a Japanese combination of words. And they glow in the dark. And the whole concept of SMISKI is that you'll place them in unusual places around your home. The cracks between a couple of bricks, a windowsill, high up above a bureau or something. And at night, when you turn out the lights, they glow in the dark. And so your friend, SMISKI, is always there with you. We've done a number of in-person events. We have a large SMISKI doll, a large SMISKI costume. And when we do these events around the country, inevitably, college girls come up to us with their cell phones to show us pictures of SMISKIs glowing in the dark in their dorm rooms. Mm-hmm. It's just, he's a very quirky, as you said, very introspective character. He's got a very expressionless face, very, very plain, but the typical response from retailers as well as from consumers when they see SMISKI is, God, that's a little weird. I don't think I really understand it, but I think I need one of those.
Yeah, right.
And so one more thing, if you'll allow me.
Of course.
We have a SMISKI bathroom series and a SMISKI toilet series. And the SMISKI toilet series has two of my favorite characters. One is a little SMISKI holding a roll of toilet paper, reaching out toward you. And the other is three little mini SMISKIs holding their nose. And I have those two sets in the guest bathroom in our house. The SMISKI with the toilet paper is looking around the window frame right over the roll of toilet paper. And the little SMISKIs holding their noses over the sink. And when my adult children go into this bathroom, my adult boys, they don't even see them. But when their girlfriends go in, they come out giggling because they're much more observant and they just find them humorous.
Do you feel like SMISKI gravitates towards more of a female consumer?
So Sonny Angel actually gravitates more toward a female consumer. I think SMISKI is probably closer to 50-50. Know an awful lot of men and teenage boys that just find SMISKI just odd enough that they just need them.
Odd is good. Odd is authentic. Shout out Urban Outfitters. Shout out Books A Million. Both customers have SMISKI right now. Both customers have supported Dream in a big way. And shout out your family. Shout out Mind the Gap Live. You guys did great. Thanks for joining and supporting that, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Alan, you seem pretty well-rounded. Although the brand you're entrenched with, Dream, is unique and functions in a lot of categories. What other trend inspiration do you gather it from, or rather where, especially at this time when we can't travel and necessarily see everyone?
Well, Steve, I don't even know if you know this. I spent 25 years in the tableware business: knives, forks and spoons, plates, cups and bowls.
Okay.
And it was my first job out of college. I was a field sales rep traveling Georgia and Alabama. And then I finished my career as SVP sales and marketing for a company called Reed and Barton.
Okay.
And a very well-known brand, high-end, sterling silver, silver plate, high-end stainless, that type of product. We owned a crystal company, variety of things. And I left that career in 2004. And at the time, I left for a variety of reasons, but the beauty of hindsight is so wonderful.
Yeah.
And what I see now, and I think this speaks to where you wanted to go here, the millennials who are buying homes or renovating homes today are taking out their formal dining rooms and putting in playrooms for their kids or playrooms for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
The typical bridal registry that included flatware, china, crystal now includes experiences, Home Depot, places like that. And what we're finding is that the priority in this era is so different than it was 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 100 years ago. And what we do now, what you do, what I do with Dreams USA, is to respond to those changing, not demographics, because the people are the same. It's changing preferences, changing lifestyles, changing the way in which we view the accumulation of assets. And it bodes well, I think, for creativity. I think it bodes well for fun. I think it bodes well for toys. I think it's fascinating that as the COVID isolation began, the puzzles.
Puzzles and games, yeah.
Again, I'm just
277% increase according to NPD, by the way.
Yeah. So board games and puzzles and those types of sort of old world experiences crept back in. And I think that we're going to see that when we come out of this on the other side, there's going to be a little bit more interest in some of the more tactile ways in which we interact with each other, because we've been living on screens like this now for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And quite frankly, I think we're tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that wariness is gonna continue. So as we who sell tangible goods look toward the future, if we can get our consumers back into the stores with confidence, I think the future is bright.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree with you. I think the retail rebound is happening. I think an appreciation of play, and not children's play, but the idea of play and how good it is for development, society, for its value is being recognized by somebody who has never thought about play more than just a way to give their kids something to do. It's been beautiful to see.
There's been a lot of talk about authenticity in play for a lot longer than the last 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what we're seeing now is action.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of that discussion about returning authenticity to play has found more willing participants, and I think they're liking what they see in that regard. And I think they're anxious to get their kids involved in that kind of play with their friends again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Alan, if I can ask you to put your future spectacles on, right? And we're out in Atlanta or Dallas or Las Vegas or doing the trade show thing in August as we prepare for Q4 2020, right? This year is the least predictable year ever, but as two people that study the marketplace, can I ask you what your prediction for fall 2020 for the Christmas season? What does it look like?
So it's going to go one of two ways. I don't think we can expect it to just kind of truck along. It's either going to come roaring back, meaning that the virus continues to decrease in its coverage, that there is no resurgence in September, October, in which case I think Q4 is going to be outstanding. I think there's a lot of pent-up demand. I understand there are also a lot of people who are hurting financially and who may not recover between now and then.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, our hearts go out to all of those people who are financially affected, not to even mention those who are affected health-wise. But those that have the means, I think, will be spending in Q4 unless we have a relapse. If we have a relapse, I'm not sure that what happens to the toy industry is going to be the biggest problem that we have. So I'd like to be the optimistic one and believe that we're going to get on top of this thing, and we're going to have a good Q4. Q3, it's a little bit iffy still, I think.
Yeah.
But it's beginning.
So much on when the kids go back to school, and how much time you have to spend on things that you consider amusement or sheer fun, whether it's a tangible good or an experience. I think that still has some shaking out to do, but assuming that a little bit of free time is there, I think the consumer values play a lot more than they used to. And
I think so too.
the
I think so
circles
too.
got tight. They built stronger relationships with people. It's pretty cool.
I hope so. I hope that's the case. I hope we come out of, well, I've been thinking about this a lot the last couple of days in particular. When we look back, you'll have more of an opportunity to do this than I will. But when we look back 20, 30 years from now on the year 2020, I think we're going to find that it was a transformational year in many, many ways. And
Yeah.
I hope that it's mostly positive.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, man. Before the final segment, I would like to give you an opportunity. Do you have one last sales pitch? Do you have one last preview? Do you have one last plug to show the audience before we sign off from the happy half hour?
So, Steve, you've worked with me long enough to know that I can never do one. I got to do two.
That's right.
So the first thing I want to show you is a reminder that Dreams USA is the creator, the developer, the holder of the US patent, 53 US copyrights, and the trademark for Cable Bytes.
Yes, sir.
This is the original. This is the only original. We have 54, we have 66 Cable Bytes, including the new size that fits Android phones, Cable Byte USB-C. The Cable Byte business boomed in 2018. It's been very good ever since. It continues to be good. It's not like it was in 2018. Nothing that rockets that quickly ever is, but it's still a very strong business, and we are the team.
Yes, sir.
The second thing I want to show you is one of your favorites. In our minifigure business, we have three major categories. We have Sonny Angel, we have SMISKI, and we have Fancy Pets. And within Fancy Pets, the newest series are called Lena's Favorite Mini Pig.
Mini pigs.
Tell me about Mini Pigs, Steve.
Mini pigs. I'm going to put up a video from Tokyo 2019. On my last day, my colleague there, who is our interpreter, she always keeps me in the know of things happening in Tokyo. And she goes, Steve-san, there's a new animal cafe I have to take you to, but it's always sold out. I'm going to try my best, but no promises. Because over the last couple of years, she's taken me to a hedgehog cafe, to an owl cafe. It's a big thing in Japan. You go and interact with these adorable, cute animals. But this one cafe, she told me she couldn't get, and it was sold out. And sadly, we couldn't get reservations because a month out. So on my last day, I said, forget it. I'm going to go and talk to somebody. I can get into things. I know how to. I go there, and in the lobby, it's this little cafe, and says, unfortunately, no reservations for 30 days, but we have this little mini pig in the lobby. And I got to hang out with the cutest, tiniest little pig that you've ever seen. Every little snort and oink and honk was adorable. Its little curly tail. The mini pig cafe trend in Tokyo was on fire. Like I've never seen anything like it. I've been going to Japan for 4 years now and seek out these fun little cafes because they are very toyetic, right? They give us a glimpse at what kids and tweens like, and why wouldn't that translate to the toy business? So when I told you about it, I was pleasantly surprised, but I guess maybe not that surprised that you guys were already aware of it and have developed a whole mini pig collectible range. Super adorable. I'm a big fan, Alan.
So one thing I can tell you about this mini pig, it will never grow larger than this.
Yeah, yeah. Don't buy a mini pig because it could be a real pig. Make sure it's an
Exactly.
actual mini pig, not a baby real pig, because that would be bad for apartment living.
But again, the Dreams Fancy Pets mini pigs never get any bigger, and they won't eat you out of house and home.
Amazing. Alan, do you have those in stock, by the way, Alan? The mini pigs?
You betcha.
Absolutely. We'll run the video. Alan, you know what time it is. It is the final segment. It is called the creation of positive energy, where our guest gets to shout out and thank and recognize and give an accolade to somebody that's doing a great job in our industry. Alan, the floor is yours.
Well, I got a couple that I got to shout out to, and they're not necessarily from our industry, so you'll have to bear with me a second.
No problem.
But my very first boss, may he rest in peace, was a guy by the name of Jim Yarborough. And Jim taught me a whole bunch of things, but mostly what he taught me was a way to understand customers from their experiences and where they were coming from. I'm not going to repeat Jim's stories because they weren't always flattering, but there was something there about looking at the person that you're selling to, understanding where they come from, and structuring your presentation based on their perceptions. And that's something that has served me very well.
Mm-hmm.
My last boss in industry was a guy named Al Kriebel. Funny, all these guys are dead, I'm sorry to say. But Al taught me the most important negotiating lesson I ever learned in my life, which is it's okay to leave a little money on the table. That in a negotiation, if you come out with all of the chips every time, you're not going to have that many opportunities to negotiate. Yeah. Everybody's got to come out of a negotiation feeling like they won something. And that was a really important lesson in my early 40s, if you will. In our industry, our owner, Toru, whose name is Sonny Soya, he sets the tone for our brand, and everything we do is based on that tone. And that single-minded purpose is another thing which has been really invaluable to me. So those three people with whom I've worked over my career really helped me form what is my basis for the way in which I interact with people at work. And I'd be remiss if I didn't also thank the Dreams USA staff, who's been working remotely for 3 months.
Yeah.
They do all the heavy lifting, which allows me to do what I do. And we've got a great team here, and I'm really grateful for them.
Alan, you are a scholar, you are a gentleman, you are a leader, and you are my friend. Thank you so much for coming on to the Happy Half Hour. I'm Kid at Heart, Steve Starobinski. Thank you, and see you soon.